What's good, guys? I know a lot of you guys been fiending for my new sensitivity settings after they put a new update out on the public test server, so I finally found comfortable settings for me. Keep in mind, these settings haven't came out on the live servers yet, and these settings aren't for everyone to use, but for you guys to either work off of or to help understand why I use the certain settings at that specific number. Now onto my sensitivity settings. I'm still using the Type B controller preset. I feel Type B zooming in and zooming out time is more beneficial and more efficient than having to click the left trigger in order to aim down your sight and release aiming down your sight. Because when I take a target down, all I need to do is release my finger to search for the next guy and take him out. Looking for different opponents through your optics is time consuming and can leave you vulnerable because your movement will be slower. The bad thing I have to say about Type B is how you have to hold your breath. You need to put one finger on the aiming trigger and then also another finger on LB in order to hold your breath. This took a lot of time to get used to, but I mainly only hold my breath when targeting a non-moving target. Next up we have dead zone. The lower the number dead zone you have means your thumbstick will react with the lightest touch from your thumb. The higher the number means you'd have to push your thumbstick farther over in order to get your aimer moving. I have my left thumbstick at 5 because I like to always try to keep my character moving, especially when I'm healing up or scoped in, so this way no one has an easy headshot on me. My right stick is now at 12 because my flick accuracy has gotten better and gives me the ability to slightly move my thumbstick when flicking. This has helped me a bunch, especially since I've been playing first person perspective a lot more. In first person you need to do a lot more flicking than you would in third person. Movement sensitivity is at 50. This way I'm not walking too fast when creeping on enemies like I would be if it was at 100, and I'm not moving too slow when I want to dodge some shots and get moving when someone is firing my way. Higher sensitivity here, the faster your character moves when pushing on the thumbstick. The lower sensitivity means you'll have to put more pressure on your thumbstick to get your character moving. Vertical sensitivity is at 100. This controls your up and down sensitivity. Having this at 100 makes your aim in all directions the same. The higher the number, the faster your aim up and down will be. The lower the number, the slower your aim up and down will be. Driver sensitivity I have at 13 now, making it easier for me to scan the area while driving to spot enemies. Now onto general sensitivity. This is the camera when looting buildings or scanning the screen for opponents. I increased mine to 12. I like it fast but controllable because this way when I enter buildings I have a chance to come in and look around at the corners instead of just getting smacked up by a camper. When I had my general sensitivity at 10, it just wasn't fast enough for me to look around quick and hope to spot someone hanging out in the corner making some s'mores. A big advantage to having a higher general sensitivity is when I hear a player shooting at me, I can quickly whip over to that direction of the shots to spot the enemy so I can fire back or take cover depending on their position. This also increases your free look camera, which I use all the time to see if any enemies are moving around me as I'm auto running in one way, and also it helps me when parachuting to see how many people are landing with me. Aim acceleration I have on and at 5. This setting confuses a lot of people, but the main explanation is that aim acceleration is supposed to make your aim cursor increase in speed as you hold it in one direction for a long time. Example, when shooting a car and following it in a direction as it drives away, or a player running, with aim acceleration on and at a high number, your aimer will increase in speed much more quickly than it would at a low number. But only as you hold it in one direction for a good amount of time. Over the shoulder aim or soft aim, I have at 9 now. I've noticed I needed this quicker because when people are close to me, but too far away for a spray and pray, it seems like having this slower isn't enough to keep up with the opponent's elusive movements. So I found having it at 9 is better to keep up with the strafe movements, and also if they try to sprint away real quick, I can easily flick over to them and take them out. This is also very helpful with the laser sight on. 1x optics are your iron sights, red dots, and hollow sights. I changed this to a 6 because I have really stuck to only using red dots for my primary weapon, and when aiming at a farther opponent, I need to be able to control my shots. I got used to soft aiming more when fighting an opponent around the same cover as me, so I lowered my 1x optics just a bit since it's more helpful for me to have it controlled and steady when shooting at farther targets. 2x optics is a 2x scope and 3x optics is a 3x scope. These I have at 12 because I have found these much easier to flick with since the scope isn't too zoomed in. I'm able to see more of the area and I have an idea of where the opponent is, though I don't use these scopes too often because I'm a big fan of the red dot. 4x I have bumped up to a 5. I finally increased my bigger scope sensitivities. With that last event mode that involved canines and a 4x, I was able to really practice leading my shots and flicking towards an opponent's head, both aiming down my sights and soft aiming. I have slight trouble locking onto an opponent's head that is barely peeking at me, but in due time, I'll get used to that. 6 times is also out of 5. My favorite scope of them all. The zoom is a perfect distance, and the dot reticle on that thing is easier for me to know exactly where my shot is going. 8 times is out of 5 as well. Not big on the scope, but I'll use it on an SKS or SLR. 15 times I rarely get. Too zoomed in for me and not useful at all. My third person perspective aim camera position is always reset to the right shoulder. I love soft aiming and knowing I'll aim over the right shoulder. It feels comfortable for me, always aiming down that right shoulder rather than over the left shoulder. The left shoulder just seems way too awkward for me, maybe because I'm right-handed. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope these new sensitivity settings will help you improve your game, and if it does, please give this video a thumbs up. I'm shooting for 100 likes on this video, so help me achieve that goal. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that bell to turn on notifications to get notified when a video of mine goes live. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Got flash hider angle grip for the barrel. Let's see how it works. Oh!
Whoa, come on, man.
I didn't know you were gonna hop right in front of me.
I was giving you the laser sight,
Yeah.
whatever.
I was gonna shoot my video. I was like literally like
You asked for the laser sight.
yeah. Why'd you go right in front of me?
Because I was giving you the laser sight. Like you asked for.